Yo, what's going on, y'all? This is Marcus Rosa, aka Mazuma TV, back at y'all with some more boxing talk, man. I hope everybody's having a blessed, beautiful, positive, productive night. I hope you're having a great day overall, man. I figured I'd tap in with y'all to currently discuss what's going on in the boxing world. We're gonna be talking about Brian Norman and Devin Haney card official for November 22nd, and exactly what our thoughts are in terms of the lineup. And then, of course, we're gonna get into Turki Al-Sheikh trolling Shakur Stevenson, and then we're gonna open up the platform for some open boxing topics or just topics in general. You feel what I'm saying? Shout out to everybody that's in the building thus far. If you could go ahead and hit the like button as soon as y'all come in, that'd be very much appreciated. Let's get the algorithm on the up so the people know that Mazuma TV is live. You see what I'm saying? Shout out to everybody that's in the comments. We definitely gonna address them. Shout out to Forever Dedicated. He said, Mark, you see Tank coming out aggressive in the next press conference. I don't know anything about a press conference. I don't know. I didn't even get an official announcement yet. Unless I completely missed it. I didn't even see that. I just hear a whole lot of rumors. I don't see Premier Boxing Champions promoting it. It seemed like they more focused on Pacquiao and Barrios. Maybe they're gonna announce it after the Pacquiao Barrios fight. I don't know. I can't even tell you for real. I have no idea. You know what I'm saying? So, and I don't really care to even talk about a press conference between Tank and Roach. You feel me? We got, better things to talk about, to be honest with you. Calm-minded. He said, Mazuma, did you know when you was little, boxing is where you would be? Not at all. I don't think anybody knows what they're going to do with the rest of their life when they're kids. You feel what I'm saying? But I feel like it was something that I was meant to be in. When I was months old, my mom got a tattoo on her ankle of my name with a pair of boxing gloves next to it. My dad came from a boxing pedigree. I got uncles on my mom's side that came from a boxing pedigree. Cousins that were, amateur boxers. You know what I'm saying? And I happened to be in one of the boxing capitals of the world in Philadelphia. Like boxing always followed me. Even when I was done with boxing, I was willing to step away and explore other avenues because it ain't like me tooting my own horn or nothing, but I'm that type of dude that, if I really am interested in something, I could really go far with it. You know what I mean? All I need is the intrigue. All I need is the interest behind something, and I could take it to a whole new level. And that's why I've been successful in other avenues outside of boxing. You feel what I'm saying? But it kept following me, and especially after I got sick, I was really done with boxing. But I found my way back into it, and it's one of the best decisions I've ever made. And I got goals with boxing. You feel what I'm saying? Opening my own gym, managing fighters. I want to do the whole thing. You feel what I'm saying? Before it's all said and done. You feel me? And I want to be a PA Boxing Hall of Famer. Shit, if I could get into the International Boxing Hall of Fame, that'd be dope as well. Whether it's from commentary, training, management, shit, who knows? Even promoting, we'll see. But I hope I answered your question. No, I did not know when I was little boxing is where I would be, but I'm not surprised neither. Summer Boxing, what up? He said, "How's your day?" It was well. Marissa, what's going on? Marissa, how you doing? Hugo Juice. He says Benavidez versus Yarde card. Benavidez Yarde, the main event, not Haney, respectfully. Okay. Well, it really don't even matter, but I'll edit it. You know what I mean? If anything. You feel what I'm saying? Coffee Plan, what up? J Cash, what up? Silks Bando said, would you drop a fighter if he pops dirty? Absolutely. Yeah, man. Shout out to J Cash. Agent 86, what up? Oh, we definitely in the building. We about to cook in a little bit, y'all. We definitely gonna cook. You feel what I mean? We got some things to discuss. You know what I mean? But somebody in the comments was right. Hugo Juice was right. So let me go ahead and edit that caption, because from what I heard, David Benavidez and Anthony Yarde. We're going to talk about if we necessarily agree with the lineup as well. You feel what I'm saying? Do we agree with David Benavidez being the main event? You know what I mean? Do we agree with, Abdullah Mason being ahead of Ben Rodriguez. You know what I'm saying? We definitely gonna talk about that. You feel what I'm saying? Coffee Plus said, "Whoa, such a big deal, right?" Yeah, they you know, some motherfuckers don't like Haney, bro. You feel me? You mention their name, and I mean, motherfuckers, I don't. Yes, Marissa, Bam is on the undercard. We know that, unfortunately, but the question is, Marissa, that I want to pose to everybody else that's in the chat is, does Abdullah Mason, is it fair for Abdullah Mason to be over Ben Rodriguez? Now, I was one of the people that actually came out and told y'all that I don't really care what order the fight is in as long as we're getting the fights. And I could care less where the fights are as long as I'm able to see it with my two eyes. It doesn't matter to me. You feel what I'm saying? So that's my opinion going into this. But, you know, at the same time, there is some things that make me scratch my head. And just because, you know, we're able to see these fights doesn't mean that we can't have an opinion on these fights, you know, specifically with the lineup. You feel what I'm saying? So we definitely going to talk about it. You know what I'm saying? Coffee Plant says Mason over Bam is crazy. I mean, it is. It is, man. Like, if we, like, let's be honest, Abdullah Mason is like a big, like, he's on the come up, you know what I mean? He's a name, you know, that a lot of people are talking about, especially in the boxing space on the internet and stuff like that, because a lot of people believe that Abdullah Mason is going to be somebody. You know what I'm saying? And he's been doing some phenomenal things. He's definitely one of Mazuma TV's, most promising stars. You know what I'm saying? In my opinion, I think that he has all the potential to become like a pound for pound, highly rated boxer. You feel what I'm saying? I think he got all the tools. I think that he's good as long as he stays focused, you know what I mean? And God allows him to be, healthy and all that good stuff. I think that he could really do some Hall of Fame level shit. Like that's how high I hold, Abdullah Mason. But unfortunately, that's just assumptions. You know what I mean? That's just it's merely a prediction. You know what I'm saying? Like, we don't really know what Abdullah Mason is going to do. But we have seen what Ben Rodriguez has done thus far. You feel what I mean? And if we're looking at what Ben Rodriguez did and what Abdullah Mason has done so far, is night and day. You see what I mean? And this ain't me shitting on Abdullah Mason. He hasn't been in the game as long as Ben Rodriguez. He hasn't had the opportunities that Ben Rodriguez has had yet. You see what I mean? So I'm not necessarily comparing the two. But the reality is, at this point in time, July 7th of 2025, at 10:42 motherfucking p.m. Eastern Standard Time, Ben Rodriguez has done more than Abdullah Mason. I'm sure that he's done more main events. And he's done more in terms of accolades. So when you really look at this right here, it's all up to Turki Al-Sheikh, I'm assuming, at the end of the day, because he's the one putting the money up. I ain't tripping because, like I said, as long as I see the fights, I'm cooling. But at the same time, we got to take into consideration when we doing these lineups, it should be, in my opinion, how the way this should be lined up. It should go according to who's more in demand at this time, who's the hotter attraction, who does the biggest numbers. You see what I'm saying? So, like I said, Turki Al-Sheikh going to do whatever he's going to do at the end of the day. I can't knock the man for it. I'm just grateful that he was able to put on a phenomenal card like this. You feel what I'm saying? Black Caesar said Turki be having man crushes. He an ambassador for Riyadh season. Who are we referring to? Are we referring to Abdullah Mason? Because if that's who you're referring to, then that's absolutely correct. You feel what I'm saying? Do y'all believe that's the reason why? Do y'all believe that Turki Al-Sheikh just make guys who are brand ambassadors of Ring Magazine the main events of his cards? Is that what it is? Because look at it. Hamza Shiraz is going to be the main event over Shakur Stevenson. Hamza Shiraz is about to be the main event over Shakur Stevenson. And Hamza Shiraz not even from the country he about to be fighting in this weekend. You feel what I'm saying? And Shakur Stevenson, he was born and raised down the block from where that event is taking place. Newark and New York, not that far away. So let's actually look over this lineup, man. I'm going to share the screen for y'all to see. And this is how the way they got it drawn up right now, y'all. This is exactly how they got it drawn up right now. Y'all let me know how y'all believe this card should be set up. You feel what I mean? I want to know what y'all opinion is. We most likely gonna see eye to eye. But let's actually share the screen here for y'all to see. And this is how they got it lined up as of right now, y'all. Shout out to Ring Magazine, Turki Al-Sheikh, all that good shit for putting this card together. It's going down November 26th in Riyadh, Saudi Arabia, exclusively on DAZN, with David Benavidez defending his WBC light heavyweight world title against Anthony Yarde in the main event. Following that, we have Devin Haney going up into his third division, in attempts to become a three-division world champion against the current WBO welterweight champion of the world, Brian Norman Jr. Then, before that, we're going to get Abdullah Mason in his first world title fight against the dangerous number one contender in the WBO, Sam Noakes. And then in the opening bout, we're going to have Jesse Bam Rodriguez, one of the pound-for-pound most talented fighters in the sport of boxing right now, going up against Fernando Martinez. Man, it's absolutely lit. You feel what I'm saying? We got two of my personal favorite fighters on this one card. You know what I mean? The last time this had happened, it was when they had Boots and Bam on the same card. You already know I done pulled up on Bam. You know what I mean? We got the autographs, the pictures, and all that good stuff. Now we got David Benavidez and Bam on the same card. You already know I'm elated to see these guys participate in the same event. You feel what I'm saying? But that's the lineup as of right now, y'all. David Benavidez, Anthony Yarde in the main event. Co-main event is going to be Devin versus Brian Norman. The Dream versus the Assassin, Abdullah Mason, the one who has the appetite for smoke, against Sam Noakes. Then we got Jesse Bam, not Bam Bam. That's Brandon Rios. I'll be seeing people be misconstruing the two names. It's Bam Rodriguez versus Fernando Martinez. Now, my personal opinion before I get into the comments to see what the nation is saying, Stilks, we definitely going to talk about Turkey's comments towards Shakur Stevenson, but we're going to get into this first. We're going to get into this first, brother. Now, my personal opinion, I think, if you asking me, the opening event should be switched. I believe that Abdullah Mason and Sam Noakes should be the opening bout to start this card. Why? Because unlike everybody else that's on this card, neither one of these guys have fought for a world title, and neither one of them have ever won a world title. You know, these are two top contenders in the lightweight division going up against each other in attempts to becoming world champion. So I think there wouldn't be any other way to set the tone for this card. The best way to set the tone for this card is to have the two best contenders in the lightweight division, specifically in the WBO rankings, to go against each other to set the tone. Who will be the one to win the world title between Abdullah Mason and Sam Noakes, who are both undefeated, both have high knockout ratios, and are coming to do some damage? Sam Noakes don't play that shit. If you stand in front of him, he's going to break you up. Abdullah Mason, he's surgical. He's precise. His IQ, his maturity for his age is absolutely ahead of his time. If you asking me, his timing, phenomenal. Jab, sensational. Combination punching, devastating, hand speed. This kid has it all. You feel what I'm saying? What other way to show the world to Abdullah Mason? I mean, what way? The best way to show the world who Abdullah Mason is to let him start off this card. Just my opinion. You feel what I'm saying? I feel like that'll be the perfect way to do it. Then after that, then you could go ahead and put Bam Rodriguez versus Fernando Martinez. You know what I mean? Jesse Bam Rodriguez is highly respected amongst hardcore boxing fans. I told you guys when I first seen this guy, I told you guys we had a fighter at the time that was offered a fight with Jesse Rodriguez. And when I went to study film to see, you know what I mean, who Jesse Rodriguez was, I knew this kid was a special talent from then. Since then, he's went on to win multiple world titles, man. Unifying division, beat credible guys. We talking about Carlos Quadras. He beat Sonny Edwards. He beat Gallo Estrada. He beat Sor Rungvisai. This man is a young fucking killer that's looking to go up against top competition consistently, man. So you gotta salute Jesse Rodriguez. In all honesty, I think he has some of the best footwork in the game. I think he has one of the best jabs in the game. I think he has a very underrated jab, to be honest with you. And This guy has killer instincts. He has it all, and he's shown that he's shown to come up off of the canvas and come back and try to get that shit back in blood. We seen it in the Gallo Estrada fight. You feel what I'm saying? So this guy, Ben Rodriguez, is a phenomenal talent. I think he's one of the best fighters in the world. I do think he's overlooked considering the fact that the smaller weight classes don't get the attention as much as like the divisions that's like 135 and up. But regardless, Jesse Rodriguez would be a good second fight going into this card. Now, this is where the debate might be coming into play. I think I see what Turki Al-Sheikh was coming up with. I think I'm seeing what Turki Al-Sheikh. I see how he's dead serious about this Tom and Jerry shit. You feel what I'm saying? Like he's really dead serious about this Tom and Jerry shit, and he's really trying to make these guys put on performances that's worth the money that he's dishing out. You feel me? I think that with Devin Haney's last performance, I feel like Turki Al-Sheikh was throwing shots at Devin Haney. That's just me personally. There's people that's like, oh no, him and Turki cool, blah blah blah. No, you know what I mean? They may be cool, but at the same time, I think that when Turki Al-Sheikh was talking about this Tom and Jerry shit, I think he was addressing William Skull. I think he was addressing Devin Haney as well. And I already told you motherfuckers how I felt about that whole situation. I don't feel like Turki Al-Sheikh, although he's putting the money up, you know what I mean? Although he's the one making these cards, you can't tell somebody how to fight. And if you have concerns about how somebody's going to fight on one of your cards, don't have them on your cards. If that's such a, a big thing for you. You see what I mean? These guys are some of the most some of the most skilled fighters in the world. And not everybody is going to be doing this, this stand in front of the ring and beat the shit out of you type of John. There's people that actually care about their faculties. There's some people that care about their health, and regardless of how much money you give them, they're not gonna jeopardize, a possible L on their record. They're not gonna jeopardize their health for your entertainment, and that's just what it is. And if you want them to do that, then their opponent has to put them in a position where they have no other choice but to fight them off. That's just my personal opinion. You see what I mean? But regardless, I see where Turki Al-Sheikh is cooking with this. Well, I see the direction that he's trying to go. Devin Haney, I don't think he has that reassurance that Devin Haney is going to come out and make an entertaining fight against Brian Norman. But when you look at the David Benavidez and Anthony Yarde fight, although, David Benavidez is not as decorated in terms of accolades in comparison to Devin Haney. He hasn't won titles. He hasn't won as many titles as Devin Haney. You know what I'm saying? He might have not had the resume that Devin Haney has at this point in time. But one thing we can say is that David Benavidez is exciting in every fight that he does. He could be in there with somebody who's a boxer, like a Caleb Plant, Demetrius Andre. He could be in there with boxer punchers like David Morrell. He could be in there with just straight up brawlers. You know what I mean? Like Porky Medina, Romer Alexis Angulo. You know what I'm saying? It don't matter who you put in there with him. David Benavidez is going all out. He coming out guns blazing, and it's up to you whether you going to stop that shit or not. And thus far in David Benavidez's career, nobody has been able to stop what he been given to the motherfucking people. You feel what I'm saying? So I think that Turki Al-Sheikh is like, all right, this dude David Benavidez, he's an exciting fighter. He's a Tom, not a Jerry. He's a Tom. You feel what I'm saying? So because of that, we're going to put him as the main event because if any of these fights is going to end with a bang, it's going to be David Benavidez and Anthony Yarde. And Anthony Yarde have been in exciting fights as well. That Artur Beterbiev fight, that was an exciting fight. You know what I'm saying? The Sergey Kovalev, look at that Sergey Kovalev fight. That was a great fight. You know what I'm saying? Like, and that's not even mentioning the other fights that Anthony Yarde has had as well. I'm forgetting that other dude name that he lost to and then he came back and beat him. What the fuck was his name? Let me go ahead and look that up real quick before y'all start cursing me out like, oh, man, it's him, man. London Arthur. No, wait, he actually beat London Arthur both times. I'm sorry. No, bullshit. He fought London Arthur 3 times. Shit, they had a whole trilogy. Yeah, so I was right. He lost to London Arthur, then he came back and beat him. Those fights were exciting. You feel what I'm saying? I think that's safe to say. Those fights were exciting. So, I think that Turki Al-Sheikh is looking at it like, yo, both of these guys are exciting fights. both of these guys are exciting fighters. You put two exciting styles in the ring, it's bound to be an exciting result or an exciting outcome. You feel what I'm saying? So I think that's what Turki Al-Sheikh is looking for. I don't think he wants to put his money up to have fans lead the event unsatisfied. And let's take this into consideration. I told you guys exactly why Turki Al-Sheikh is investing in boxing. Besides him being a huge boxing fan, he wants to bring tourists over to Riyadh. They know that that's what will take. They want to be the entertainment center of the world. How are they gonna be able to do this? By taking take a sport that has as much potential as boxing and giving it the biggest fights possible. Build the sport up as popular as could be. You know what I'm saying? So people, and then once they get the people's attention, hardcore and casual boxer fans, then he'll make Riyadh the staple of big time boxing, and people will have no other choice but to go to Riyadh to either cover the fights as media or watch the fights as fans live. You feel what I'm saying? I think that Turki Al-Sheikh, in all honesty, is trying to make Riyadh the new Las Vegas. That's just me. You feel what I'm saying? So with that being taken into consideration, he doesn't want to put any fights in Riyadh that may possibly be boring or lack entertainment, because that'll probably discourage people from wanting to come back to Riyadh. Like, damn, I done traveled all this way to see a boring ass fight. I'm not gonna come back over here. So I think that Turki Al-Sheikh, while he's making these big fights happen, he's attempting to meet the expectations that I guess like the king of Riyadh is, looking to have with Turki Al-Sheikh and how the way he's taking care of, the entertainment side of Riyadh and shit like that. So, I think that's just my personal opinion. You feel what I mean? So I see why he was going this way. But to be honest with you, if I was the one that was setting these fights up in order, I'm going to have to give Devin Haney his respect. I think Devin Haney should be the main event in this situation. You see what I mean? Devin Haney has been, regardless of whether people like him or dislike him, I think he's the most relevant name on this list. I don't know if David Benavidez has the notoriety that Devin Haney has. I don't know if he's as known in the world between casual and hardcore boxing fans like Devin Haney is. You feel what I'm saying? Devin Haney is the more accomplished fighter. And, that may be because, David Benavidez has been getting fucked over by the politics of boxing. But regardless, the fact still remains. You feel what I'm saying? Dula, my favorite guy right now, but low key, he shouldn't be the main. I see what he's doing. No, he's not the main. He's not the main. He's not the main for this card. He's actually like the bout after the opening bout. So he's right before the co-main. Shout out to my boy J Cash though. So, me personally, I see why Turki Al-Sheikh decided to make David Benavidez the main event. Maybe he's trying to build David Benavidez up so he could convince Canelo Alvarez to fight him. I don't know what the case is. You know what I mean? Turki Al-Sheikh move calculated at times. I feel like there's sometimes where he does things like try to be outside of the box, and sometimes the motherfucker be a little bit too calculated. See, this dude, Hugo Juice, do not like Devin Haney. He had a problem that I had Devin Haney mentioned on the card. And now that I'm saying that Devin Haney, definitely could be worthy of a main event, now he's saying absolutely not. Respectfully, we want to fight, not a snooze fest. First of all, you don't even know if Devin Haney and Brian Norman is going to be a snooze fest. So the fact that you even assuming that Devin Haney and Brian Norman is going to be a snooze fest when you haven't even seen the fight, you know what I mean? That just goes to show you how much you dislike Devin Haney. And if you do, that's fine. But let's not, just because you dislike Devin Haney don't mean that he's not deserving of this opportunity. Yeah, you tell me on this list who's done bigger numbers in terms of pay-per-view out of everybody on this list. And I hate to get into numbers, but, that's usually how the way it goes. The more popular, the hotter commodity is usually the main event. And like I said, I know Turki Al-Sheikh ain't doing this, for money or anything like that. The motherfucker, I think he lose money every time he does an event. But at the same time, he ain't really losing money, if you feel what I'm saying. They bag is infinite over there almost. Yeah, like it's ridiculous to like try to throw shade on Devin Haney's name. So now we doing main events based off of entertainment value. You know how many times Canelo Alvarez, who a lot of people say is the more entertaining fighter than Floyd, was on Floyd undercards? Like, I don't understand that. How many times is Canelo Alvarez main eventer over Floyd? Benavidez versus Yarde brings eyes from both parts of the world, USA and UK. So do you think that the UK not tuned into Devin Haney? Do you genuinely think that? You think the US and the UK not going to be tuned into the Haney and Brian Norman? Do you know that the UK boxing is like the second biggest sport in the UK behind soccer? You think they're not going to be tuned into Haney and Brian Norman? Like, I understand what you're saying. Anthony Yarde from the UK, Benavidez from the US. So the US and the UK are going to tune in to watch these two go at it. I absolutely understand that point. Who gives a fuck how many years I'm talking about? The truth still remains a decade later. What are you talking about? Devin, UK. The UK is going to be just as invested in Devin Haney because you got to understand, they're some of the biggest boxer fans in the world. They're going to tune in to watch Devin Haney and Brian Norman just as much as they're going to be tuned in to David Benavidez and Anthony Yarde. So you telling me that the UK care more about Anthony Yarde than Devin Haney? Come on, man. I didn't fucking know that the main event was based off of entertainment value. I thought it was who was the bigger attraction, who was the bigger star. You can't tell me that Devin Haney's not a bigger star than David Benavidez. Devin Haney is a dislikable dude, brother, respectfully. You keep saying all this respectfully shit, but you ain't throwing no respect on Devin Haney name. No, what you want to say, bro, just keep it a buck. You dislike him. You feel what I'm saying? But, it is what it is. So if you asking me personally, I'm not mad at this fight lineup. I'm not mad at this lineup at all. But you ask me how the way I would set this up, we going to do this shit the traditional way. We going to do this shit the traditional way. You feel what I mean? How the way it usually go. The hottest commodity goes first. The bigger attraction, goes last. I'm sorry. The biggest attraction is the main event. That's usually how the fuck it go, right? So we're going to do, if this was me, Abdullah Mason versus Sam Noakes as the opening bout. Jesse Bam Rodriguez versus Fernando Martinez. Next bout. Devin Haney, Brian Norman. I'm going to put David Benavidez, Anthony Yarde as the co-main event, and then we doing Devin Haney versus Brian Norman as the main event. And you want to know how I know Devin Haney and Brian Norman the main event? Which fight is being spoken about the most out of these four? What fight is being spoken about the most? If you go look through YouTube right now and look at all the big boxing YouTube channels that attract thousands of views a day, which fight is getting more attention? Devin Haney versus Brian Norman or David Benavidez versus Anthony Yarde? This shit not even a conversation. Haney and Norman, them niggas, they got shit bubbling up over here. Anthony Yarde and Benavidez, let's keep it real. The only reason why Benavidez and Anthony Yarde is even a thing is because Callum Smith ain't want no smoke. Or he act like niggas wasn't paying him enough. So he got up out the way and Anthony Yarde took the fall. Be like, all right, motherfuckers don't want to rumble. All right, I'll take it. What happens if Bam lose versus Kafu July 19th? Then I'm assuming that bout will be swept under the rug. Then I'm assuming that fight not happening, and they're probably going to replace it with another big fight. No, there's a lot of time between now and November. Some modifications can happen. Let's keep it 1,000. Injuries might happen. Somebody might get sick and pull out. Like, there's a lot of things that may happen. I'm trying to remain optimistic right now. I'm just happy that all these fights are confirmed at this point in time. Rouse said it's really not a conversation. Bill and Norman Sr. are gonna build the fuck out of the Haney versus Norman fight. That's a fact. That's a fact. That's all people gonna talk about. Trust me. Like all the other fights are gonna get mentioned, but what's gonna take over the spotlight is Haney versus Norman. People gonna be excited about Abdullah Mace getting his first title shot. People gonna be excited to see Fernando Martinez and Ban Rumble. People gonna be excited to see David Benavidez on a Riyadh season card. So everybody's gonna be spoken about, but what's gonna be like the biggest thing in this fight is Devin Haney versus Brian Norman. They looking at Devin Haney as like this chinny guy who, you know what I mean, is scared to get hit, going up against one of the hardest, if not the hardest puncher in the welterweight division right now, and Brian Norman. There's a lot of intrigue around there because there's a lot of people who are picking Brian Norman to win. It says Devin Haney is so disliked, haters would love to see him lose. So that's all they worried about. They over here trying to manifest a Brian Norman Jr. victory. I see it. Anonymous says, honestly, I think Benavidez possibly stops Yarde due to his gas tank issues. Yarde tends to fade late. Yeah, man. Anthony Yarde, he is strong. You know what I mean? He can crack. He has some athleticism as well, explosive, all that good stuff. But I think David Benavidez's conditioning is going to be the key to victory in this fight. You know what I mean? Because I have seen Anthony Yarde fade. I feel like when he got stopped by Sergey Kovalev, I don't even think he was hurt for her. I think he just fell from exhaustion. I think he was just like so exhausted. Like he let the clip go. He hurt Sergey Kovalev and stuff, but he didn't have enough gas to really finish him off. If he had great conditioning, he would have stopped Sergey Kovalev that night. But his gas tank failed him. And we've seen it fail him on multiple occasions. Could be his muscle. I don't know. I mean, it could be it could be multiple things. But I think Benavidez getting stronger as the rounds go on. I think that's what's going to help him in this fight. I think this will be his first stoppage at 175 pounds. I ain't going to lie to you. Coffee Plant says, so Al cool with David going to Saudi. I mean, yeah, from what I heard, he got his blessings from PBC and he got his blessings from Samson Lukowicz to make the fight happen. So, you know what I'm saying? It must have been an amount of – because I remember Samson was running around talking about how, yeah, I mean, they ain't fighting in Saudi and shit like that, but all of a sudden they fighting in Saudi, so it had to be for an amount of money that they couldn't refuse. It had to be a money that was just too good to turn down. You know what I mean? Money changed a lot of shit. Money changes a lot of shit. You can say one thing and then, you know, that bag come through and you like, you know what? You're right. Money can make a lot of shit go away, especially opinions. Money could change a lot of opinions. So, yeah, from what I heard, Al Heyman gave his blessing for David Benavidez to go, you know, do that Riyadh season fight. And Samson Lukowicz, who's his promoter, had no problem. You know what I'm saying? Great Gambino says, you think Tank will accept one of Turkey offers? I don't even really care to talk about Tank for real, but just to answer your question, Great Gambino, since you're a supporter of the channel, I don't know. He's making it seem like, you know, motherfuckers is backstabbers for, you know, working with Turki Al-Sheikh and stuff like that. But then at the same time, I seen him say in a tweet that if he got, you know, consent from Al, would he do a fight with him? And he said, yeah. So, you know, if Al is willing to give David Benavidez his blessings to make a fight happen, and all these other PBC fighters that have, you know, taken part in these Riyadh season cards, I don't see why he would say no to Tank. It don't even make sense to say no to Tank. Y'all having trouble paying the man, from what I understand. You know what I mean? He unsatisfied with the money that y'all giving him. The money looking real funny in PBC. So if Al could, you know, keep his fighters busy by, you know, having another motherfucker pay them, then, you know what I mean? It would make sense for Al to do that, in my opinion. Shout out to Great Gambino. Tank won't accept no cherry pick. You see, that's the thing too. Like if Tank knows that, and this may be a reason why I may discourage Tank, and I think that's why he tried to play behind his loyalty card, not because like he just so down and loyal to Al Heyman. Now, I don't think that, and you know, he has shown to be loyal to Al Heyman, of course, but I think he's trying to play this loyalty card to. I think he's playing his loyalty card to the death because he understands. And you know, Tank, he's very picky with who he decides to fight. Let's just keep it 1,000. Turki Al-Sheikh is a type motherfucker where it's like, all right, name your price. Oh, that's what you want? All right, we gonna give you this, but we gonna give you this if you fight this. And it's usually a killer. Like Turki not with the bullshit. You know what I mean? He not with the games. And if he does give you a cherry pick like Canelo Williams Skull, you know what I mean? It has to be for a bigger fight that he's trying to work on, which was Canelo Bud. So he might give you a little layup and shit like that, but it's to set up a fight that, you know, the boxing world wants, or at least what Turki wants. You saw Floyd play crazy with Roy. Yeah, but, you know, I remember seeing interviews a while back where Roy, you could tell he was never really too fond of Mayweather. Like, he respected Mayweather and his skills, but I think that whole Ali comment that Floyd was making, which I thought was disrespectful as well. Roy didn't take too kind to that because he actually looks up to Muhammad Ali. You know what I mean? He idolizes Muhammad Ali. That's one of his favorite fighters of all time. So when he hears somebody like Floyd disrespecting Ali, and Mike Tyson had a similar opinion too. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, why you doing that extra shit? I guess Floyd didn't like the remarks that, you know, Roy made. And Roy just did an interview with Andre Ward where he said Sugar Ray Leonard to beat Floyd. And the last thing Floyd wants to hear is that another motherfucker will beat him. So I think that Floyd, you know, with him having that undefeated record, he likes to shit on people who have losses on their record, despite whether they great or not. You know, he disrespected Ali because he lost to Ken Norton. Oh, he lost to somebody with 7 fights. Oh, you know, that he plays all these other guys. He even threw dirt on Sugar Ray Leonard's name. Like Floyd a disrespectful motherfucker, bro. He a disrespectful motherfucker. I ain't gonna lie to you. Like, him talking crazy about Ali like that, I ain't even gonna lie to you. He I understand you a competitor. And I really don't want to say this, bro, but on some real shit, for you throwing dirt on Muhammad Ali's name like that, considering while you've even admitted that he paved the way for you, I think you need to get smacked in your shit for that. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's just me. Like, Ali is one of the greatest things to not only happen in boxing, but in sports, period. You know what I'm saying? And it's like Muhammad Ali stood for a greater purpose outside of boxing, which, you know, which is why a lot of people mention him as a great, because what he did transcended boxing. You know, he came up in a real hard time for black folks, and he stood up for black folks. And, you know, what he did for the people was just bigger than stepping in the boxing ring and throwing punches. Like, he was an absolute icon. And I think Floyd always grew envious of that because he seen the love that Muhammad Ali had. And I think that's something that he wanted, but he never measured up to Ali because every time he had an opportunity to stand up for black people, he went against them. You feel me? To, you know, to keep his relationships with these, them certain people that wear them motherfucking Johns, the motherfucking teacups on their head and shit like that. I think Floyd pulled out his coon bag, you know what I mean, to satisfy them. And that was the difference between Ali and him. You feel me? That's just my personal opinion. So it's like, Ali did all this shit for black people, bro. Like, really paved the way for you to be a part of this great sport. And you talk shit about Ali to make yourself look good. You ever heard that quote? You ain't got to dim somebody else's light. You know what I mean? The shine. That's what Floyd be doing. Y'all can shine together, but you so infatuated with shining brighter than the motherfucker that you willing to do whatever it takes to dim they light. That's hater shit. But Floyd been a hater, so why are we surprised? Why are we surprised? How about when Gucci did that blackface shit and they asked for Floyd comment on that? Oh, well, see, I'm a leader. I'm not a follower. So I'm gonna go to Gucci and I'm gonna buy whatever I want, and I'm a follower. I'm a leader. Like, man, shut the fuck up, Floyd. Like, stop it, man. Then you was a fucking boxer. You see what's going on between them people and Palestine and all that, and you go out of your way to say that you stand with them. Floyd, don't nobody give a fuck about who you stand with. Why did you feel the need to even come out with that statement and even get in your political bag? People don't look at you as a political figure. We look at you as a retired athlete. Why are you speaking on this? Because, you know what I mean, he'll do anything to appease them people. And that's, Coffee, that's exactly why he got rushed in the UK. Had you scared for your life. You know who would have never did? You would have know who they would have never done that to? Muhammad Ali. J. Cool 05 says they got the bread. That's why. J. Cool, Floyd done made over $1 billion in his boxing career. Do he necessarily need them? That's what fucked me up. You made it already. Why is you kissing their ass? Why is you kissing them pink people ass? I don't understand. It ain't like you on the come up and you trying to get somewhere. Bro, you done made it already. It ain't like you poor scratching for $1. Bro, you're there. You be bragging about this $100 million check that you ain't deposit yet. And all this, bro, like you there. He got bad spending habits. Well, that's a personal issue. Bro, listen, Floyd about to be 50, still rocking like big ass chains and spending $10 million on watches. Bro, that's your fault. So because you got bad spending habits, you don't know how to keep track of your money. You just feel the need to kiss them pink people ass so they could keep you on a check. You was a sucker, nigga. You was a sucker, bro. That's why T.I. made that song called "Fuck Nigga." He put a picture of you up on that singles song cover. You're a clown, phenomenal fighter, all time great, one of the greatest to ever lace a pair of gloves. But you're a clown. Like, for real, bro. Like, I love watching Floyd come up, bro. He was one of my favorite fighters when I was a young boy. He's a hater. Them UK niggas should have smacked him in his shit when they had the chance for talking crazy about Ali, bro. And I'm glad Roy said something about it. And like playing videos of Roy getting knocked out, like that's goofy, cuz. That's goofy. But it is what it is. It is what it is. Now, if Roy would have really took it there and watch videos of your domestic violence cases and stuff like that, then that would be a problem, right? Clown. And how you really a deadbeat dad for real. Kiss them pink people ass more than your kids. Tito, what up? What What up? Floyd definitely a weirdo. Floyd definitely a deadbeat. I don't know something, bro. Like these niggas be having all the money in their world, but their kids be lost. I'll be like I knew Floyd was a deadbeat when his daughter had a kid with NBA YoungBoy. Like, not even trying to get messy or be on some chatty patty shit, bro, but just real quick, like you raised your daughter all these years for her to fuck a rapper that has openly spoke about having herpes. Like, do you know how much of a failure I would feel like as a father if my daughter decided to have a kid with him? The nigga who's like not even 30, he younger than me, got like 12 kids. This nigga got more kids than Nick Cannon. That's you have all this money, you have all these resources just for your daughter to be a fucking baby mom to a rapper who said he not big on fatherhood. So now you got to raise your grandson. Like, you got to raise your grandson because the nigga that your daughter fucked is not big on fatherhood. He literally said that. Go look it up. NBA YoungBoy. Go on Google and type NBA YoungBoy fatherhood. This nigga say he not big on fatherhood. I can't tell. Because nigga, all you doing is just piling up kids. You not big on fatherhood. You need to be big on protection and your herpes medication, nigga. That's what you need to be big on. Shit. Niggas be weird, cuz. But anyway. David Benavidez, Anthony Yarde card official for November 22nd is going down in Riyadh, Saudi Arabia. You know what I'm saying? Let's talk about this Turki al-Sheikh situation, man, with Shakur Stevenson. Let's talk about that, shall we? Let's actually pull this up right here. Because Turki don't be on no Gervonta Davis shit. I don't believe the motherfucker be deleting tweets. So let's go back to see what he was saying. Let's get past the Arabic that he's been writing out. So this is the first thing right here, right? And I don't understand why Turki al-Sheikh is doing this. Like, it has to be trolling. Me personally, I don't think that Turki al-Sheikh is serious. But the fact that he's actually targeting a black fighter after we claim that he was targeting black fighters with them Tom and Jerry comments, all he's doing is proving my point. That's all he's doing. He's proving my point. So it's a picture of Shakur Stevenson and William Cepeda. They got 1 foot out the ring and 1 foot out. Now, this is very similar to a drill that we do at the gym where we teach fighters how to fight on the inside and basically sit in the pocket and be able to defend themselves and throw punches in between. He says, this is the solution to deliver an amazing fight on Saturday, right? So with him typing shit like this, it makes me feel like he's not really expecting much out of Shakur Stevenson. Like I said, he could be trolling. Maybe it's just an inside joke that him and Shakur got behind the scenes. I don't know. I haven't seen Shakur have a little funny, response to it where it's like showing Jerry punching Tom and stuff like that. But this is a shot right here. You know what I mean? Whether he's trolling or not, you know what I mean? Some of the best jokes got some truth to them, right? So with him having this kid have 1 foot in, 1 foot out, he pretty much is saying that the only way for this to be an amazing fight on Saturday night is if Shakur Stevenson sits in the pocket with William Cepeda and trades. Basically trying to set Shakur Stevenson up for failure. And I actually let me actually bring this tweet up from Najee from Cigar Talk, man. I don't always agree with what he says. He be wilding sometimes, but sometimes he be on the money as well. Let's actually bring up what Najee said because this was a point that I had made well over a month ago. But he said this very well. Let me see. This was actually something he had tweeted yesterday. Let me actually he actually says, attention boxers, don't let people try to trick you out of using your skills or footwork. All this Tom and Jerry talk is reverse psychology, hoping you don't use your advantage. Hit and don't get hit, but most of all, win. Shout out to Najee from Cigar Talk for that tweet. That was absolutely I couldn't agree more with that statement right there. You feel what I'm saying? I couldn't agree with that. Like, that was one of the most beautifully written tweets that I've seen in a long time. There's usually a lot of bullshit that goes on Twitter, but Najee was absolutely on the money. You know what I mean? What Turki Al-Sheikh is trying to do right now is try to take these guys' best weapon and try to make them resort to things that they don't specialize in. Basically, trying to give them a recipe for disaster. And I'm glad that Terrence Crawford went up on the stage being the brand ambassador that he is for Riyadh and saying that he been fighting his whole life and he ain't about to let nobody tell him how to fight his fight. Shout out to Terrence Crawford. Shout out to Terrence Crawford, because a lot of motherfuckers, I don't know if they be scared of Turki because he be putting up the bread and they ain't trying to fuck up their opportunities with getting some of that Riyadh money. But Turki Al-Sheikh, he talk a lot of bullshit, man. He putting up this money and now he's just so opinionated. He came into the game real humble, real to himself. But now that he feel like he acted like he that nigga and shit like that, he feel like he could just say whatever the fuck he want. So shout out to Terrence Crawford for saying it how it is. Man, I don't give a fuck who doing this event. I don't care what motherfuckers talking about. I'm gonna do whatever I need to do to win. Shout out to Terrence Crawford for that. So that's exhibit 1 right there. This is exhibit 1 right here, with a shot being thrown at Shakur Stevenson. And if y'all don't see the picture, if y'all don't get what this picture is, they got 1 foot in, 1 foot out. You know, with that being set up like that, it basically limits Shakur Stevenson's, movement, and he'll have no choice but to sit in the pocket with William Zepeda in this small ring and go blow for blow. Absolutely disgusting. It's like, bro, if you a boxer fan and you condoning this shit, like, I just don't believe that you in it like how we in it. I don't believe you in the sport for the right reasons, bro. You know what I mean? Like, it's just like, if you had this perspective, and I know this is kind of cliche with like conversations that go on social media, bro, I have no choice but to look at you like a casual. There's no way that you could say you're a fan of the sport of boxing and you don't respect the styles that come with the sport of boxing. You feel what I'm saying? Like, if you really love the art, if you really love the sport, there's nothing that can stop you from respecting. You may have preferences over the other. Yes, like me, I'm a heterosexual. I love women. Like, you know what I'm saying? I love women. I may have my preferences in the women that I may like, but I can respect the beauty in multiple women. You feel what I'm saying? There's beautiful women in the Asian community. There's beautiful women in the Hispanic community. Beautiful black women. Beautiful white women. You know what I mean? Whatever the case is. But if you just be like, oh, nah, man. You know what I mean? Like, nah, man, they all ugly. Like, it make me question whether you really love women. Do you really love women like that? Like, if you just interested, like, in this, like, do you really love women? Like, I don't know. That's weird. Hugo, what the fuck is you talking about? Who's talking about William Skull, bro? Who's talking about William Skull? Hugo, if you have your preferences and what you like as a fan or whatever the case is, that's fine. But trying to eliminate a fucking entire style in the sport of boxing because you feel like your bum ass favorite fighters can't make the adjustments necessary to beat them, like that don't add up to me, brother. It don't. It don't. How about and see you holding the wrong motherfuckers accountable, Hugo? You holding the wrong motherfuckers accountable, bro. So you telling me that it's Shakur Stevenson fault that Edwin De Los Santos couldn't hit him? Or was it Edwin De Los Santos' fault that he didn't have the tools necessary to hit Shakur Stevenson and actually win rounds against Shakur Stevenson? Great footwork is art. Thank you, Paga. Like, Hugo, I don't know if you've ever boxed before, brother, but if you haven't, what these motherfuckers is doing is extremely difficult. And I think maybe if you took the time to actually take part in the art, study the art, you know what I mean? You probably have a different respect for it. It takes two to tangle. They in the fucking ring, nigga. What did you mean? What are you talking about? They in the ring. They is tangling, nigga. What are you talking about? When Edwin De Los Santos and Shakur fought, who landed more punches? Who landed more punches, bro? You can't say a nigga not tangling if they punching you in your shit. What are you talking about? Like, you sound like you don't sound intelligent, brother. You just sound like somebody who, like, you purposely hating on fighters like for no fucking reason. If you don't like the style, don't watch them. It sound like you pretty well versed on these niggas. Then don't waste your money. Don't watch it. But I'll tell you what, for you to dislike these motherfuckers so much, you're very invested in them. Because you can't take their name out your mouth. You can't. But anyways, I don't even know why you in this chat if you so bothered about the niggas that we talking about. Because I know if I don't like somebody or I don't like a style, I don't watch them. The fuck? Yeah, exposed himself. He the hater that pay. Exactly. Hate motherfuckers so much, but you putting $90 up, expecting an entertaining fight. Like, you sound stupid, man. Hate these motherfuckers so bad, but you clearly showing you invested in them. Shakur last fight was a knockout. Yeah, it was. But Aaron, you know what they're gonna say? Who was Josh Padley? Either way, they're gonna talk shit, bro. If they outbox somebody, oh, it wasn't entertaining, it was boring. They stop somebody, oh, but who was that guy? These motherfuckers can't win. I see why they don't talk to y'all. I see why these boxers don't like y'all niggas, man. I bet you boxers would be a lot more engaged with their fans if it wasn't for niggas like y'all. Yeah. Y'all enabling one-dimensional fighters to not go in the gym and do anything. Because if y'all motherfuckers was actually appreciative of the art and actually took the time to respect every style, whether you found it to be entertaining or not, it will give these one-dimensional fighters no other choice but to go in the gym and dedicate themselves to their craft. What you're doing is, oh, man, he's a runner, man. Man, so what if he beat you 12 rounds or nothing? He's a runner, man. And then that dumbass person that's one-dimensional is like, you know what? He's right. I'm going to keep fighting my style. I'm just not going to fight these guys anymore. And they're not going to get better because you're enabling them to be bums, to be limited, to not have skills. Like, how the fuck y'all don't see that? Trying to incentivize laziness. That's a fact. That's exactly what you're doing. You enabling them to be one-dimensional instead of going into the gym and perfecting their craft. So what if he outclassed you and you could have hit him and he hit you? He was a runner, man. All he did was box. All he did was run and hold you. Nigga, if he would have just, and that's the thing they don't want to acknowledge. If that was really all they did, they would have lost. All he did was run. If all he did was run, he would have lost. Might have gotten disqualified if all he did was run. No, there was something else going on in there that you don't want to bring into consideration. Like him outlanding the guy. Because you can't win a fight without, mixing in some offense, right? Like, from what I understand, Devin Haney outlanded Jose Ramirez. From what I understand, Shakur Stevenson outlanded Edwin De Los Santos. Can somebody bring me up the stat sheet to prove me wrong? Then I wonder why no one likes Haney saying, I'm going to hurt you. Then he runs around the ring. So what? He won. He won. Who cares? Who cares about what a nigga talking about? Tank said he was going to stop Lamont, did he? A lot of niggas say shit and they don't do it. Y'all remember when they shook hands on the bet? Tank was going to knock Lamont the fuck out. And Lamont was like, you crazy. They shook hands on it. Did Tank stop him? No. A lot of fighters say shit and it don't go how they say. That, you know what I mean? It is what it is. I can't tell if Turkey cares. You know why? You know why? You saying Turkey cares. You know why I don't think he really care that much? Because he keeping them on the card. Because he's still paying them. That's why. Shakur Stevenson fighting this motherfucking weekend. Somebody that people claim was a runner. Then he got Devin Haney as a co-main event on a stacked ass card on November 22nd. So obviously he don't care that much. Okay, and he's the one paying, and they gonna keep fighting the fights that they fight so they can keep getting paid. The fuck? Shout out to 88 Sports Talk with the $5 super chat. He said, what's the point of training camps and film study if you're going to turn around on fight night and just stand there and fight toe-to-toe with no skill? Exactly. For all that, these motherfuckers might as well put blindfolds on. Just keep it 1,000. They might as well put a blindfold on and just play Marco Polo in the ring. Marco. They might as well just fight blindfolded. Yeah, might as well fight like if that's what boxing gonna be, then you know what I mean? The best rock'em sock'em just gonna win. Like what the fuck? Like y'all motherfuckers don't want to see no movement. Y'all don't want to see nobody set no motherfucking traps, make them fall into shots. You don't want to make motherfuckers like hitting and not getting hit is a problem now. God damn. Shout out to 88 Sports Talk with the $5 super chat, man. It's good to know that people understand where I'm coming from. For real. Tego says, most athletes talk cash shit as part of their job is a form of mental warfare. Exactly. Exactly what it is. Mental warfare. People, and that's how you know they never box because they don't understand like the psychological things that go on in the boxing game too. People don't understand that there's mental games that's being played along with everything else that's going on. Hugo, this dude Hugo is delusional, bro. Do you need your $90 back, brother? Is that what you mad about? Do you need them $90 back? At least hold them accountable. People giving up their Saturday nights, their money. You know what's crazy? They about to do it again. So obviously it's not that bad of it. It's not that much of an issue. Yeah, talking about hell yes. Yeah. I think you need to put your energy into making some more money and start worrying about how the way motherfuckers fight. And if you don't like how the way they fight, don't spend your money on them. There's plenty of ways that you can watch a fight without paying. If you know, you know. Shit. These niggas be tripping. Fury said he was going to destroy Usyk in the rematch. Look how that went. Yeah. Motherfucker was doing the stanky leg all around. This motherfucker hit every corner of the ring on motherfucking Bambi legs. Now let's put up the next little shot that and this just goes to further prove my point because there was people actually saying that Turkey wasn't talking about black fighters and wasn't talking about Shakur, like he wasn't talking about Dev and all this bullshit. Look at this shit right here. No 12 of July. And it's time in Cherry boxing, right? And then look what follows up right after that. Shakur and William Cepeda. So he's clearly talking about Shakur. You feel what I'm saying? Let me see. I'm trying to find that next one. I don't know what I can't read none of this shit. I don't know what they. Might have lost it. Oh yeah. Then of course, I don't understand this. This is what makes me think he's trolling Mike Coppinger and Dan Rayfield about to rumble each other. Like, what the fuck is we even talking about? Then he said it was going to be at a catch weight at 375. He clearly trolling. But this was the original tweet. Hold on. I don't think he said anything prior to this. But he said, we have a surprise with Shakur Stevenson on Saturday. A ring that shrinks as the fight goes on. Shakur says he's ready to deliver a beatdown to William Cepeda, and I know the Mexican is prepared for the challenge of the biggest fight, of his life. So now he's talking about a shrinking ring. Then he's talking about having 1 foot in, 1 foot out of the ring. Like, he really going out of his way to disrespect Shakur Stevenson, bro. And I don't know if that was get back from that emotional outburst that Shakur Stevenson had on social media with Turki Al-Sheikh. I don't know. I really don't know. I can't tell you. But regardless, it is pretty annoying to continue to hear Turki Al-Sheikh fit into this Tom and Jerry shit, bro. Like, it's disgusting. And on some real shit, like, just me personally, I hope somebody does put on a great display of boxing and somebody gets shut out on the scorecards. I really hope that happens again. Like, I want Turki Al-Sheikh to understand that just because you putting this money up and you're a big investor in the boxing right now doesn't necessarily mean that you have a say-so on what happens in that ring. You feel what I'm saying? Like, who the fuck are you? Chill when you scrolling. Like, I was on Turki Al-Sheikh page, so we cool, coffee. Now, if I'd have went on the home page, you know what I mean, this channel probably would have got suspended. If you know, you know. You know what I'm saying? Saying I'm fucking with you. But no, for real though. It's just annoying, bro. I just feel like Turki Al-Sheikh, he doing what his people typically do. You know what I mean? They always try to take over some shit, try to change some shit up, you know what I mean? Try to get things going on their terms. And it's like, bro, I don't see you doing this shit in soccer where it's like, I don't see him really trying to intervene in any other sport, but you over here talking crazy about boxing. And because first of all, that's not even your money that you putting up. To be real with you, like, Turki literally a middleman. You know what I mean? You getting money from one nigga, and then you giving it to the other. You feel what I mean? This ain't even your bread that you putting up for real. So, like, what the fuck is we even? I don't know. Great Gambino says, shout out to Aaron. Let me read this one first. He said, I love Arturo Gatti, but these casuals have to understand that taking it straight headshots without head movement is a career killer and causes brain damage. That's a fact. And you know what's crazy? Let's say one of these boxers actually takes a lot of damage and, you know what I mean? They end up having some type of health issues or, you know what I mean? They no longer the same. They become like shells of themselves. They come washed up fighters. You know what the fans going to say? You know what they're gonna say? Oh, he fought with too much heart. Oh, he should have he just stopped boxing. You know, he should have boxed against this guy and that guy. You know, it really cost him his career. Like, bro, y'all motherfuckers don't know what y'all want because when they actually use their skill set, when they actually use their hit and not get his style, they get criticized. And then when they go against it, they get criticized. So it's like you can't satisfy these motherfuckers either way. Either way, you can't satisfy them. So it's like, that's why I just tell like, on some real shit, bro, these boxers just need to do what they specialize in, whether the people find it entertaining or not. And if these guys want to see an entertaining fight, the motherfucker that's in the ring with them has to make it he has to force that guy who specializes in not getting hit to make it an entertaining fight. We know what Shakur Stevenson going to do. If he needs to use his legs, he's going to use his legs. It's up to William Cepeda to stop him from doing that. Hugo just admitted what his real problem was. It wasn't about these fighters not being entertaining. You know what I'm saying? It was about him spending $90 on some shit he ain't like. That's all it is. That's all that is. Hugo just mad. That $90 could have went towards something that he found to be entertaining. Oh, come on, man. You know, I missed my $90. Mm. Nigga mad as shit for what? Like, you ain't make that $90 back? Yeah, Hugo. That's easy to make back, brother. Turkey been watching too much Creed. Yeah, that's how you know, like, he really he knew the boxing. You could tell. And Turkey, if he ain't new to boxing, then he not really you know, if you can't embrace every style of the sport, even if you have preference, because if you don't appreciate the art that comes with the sport, it really makes me question whether you all in on boxing like you say or not. Because boxing, according to these motherfuckers, boxing got to be all entertainment. Like everybody got their place in their sport. Like Tim Duncan wasn't the most, exciting basketball player to watch, but you can admire what he did because it worked. It was effective. He became a great player. You know, Hall of Famer, all time great. By just sticking to the basics. They called him Mr. Fundamental. It was nothing really too flashy or show offish about him. He got his buckets and he went home. Was it the most entertaining? No, but it worked. And I think he got 5 chips as a result of that. I didn't hear nobody say, Tim Duncan needs to stop using the backboard. Oh, and then we didn't have fucking Adam Silver talking about from now on we're gonna remove all the backboards off of these basketball courts. You know, shoot all net, nigga. Like, we don't see that. Shoot all net. That's what we like over here. No layups, just dunks, nigga. Like, what the fuck? That's exactly how y'all sound. Y'all sound stupid as shit. Y'all want motherfuckers that box to not use their legs when you literally only have your hands and your feet. Don't use your legs, nigga. Just stand there and trade. Don't you dare do a finger roll. You better slam that shit. Put your elbow in that bitch. Like, what? The fuck out of here. You trying to tell niggas how to play. Imagine Adam Silver trying to tell niggas how to play. Shout out to Ayo Dizzy One with the $5 super chat, man. I appreciate you very much, man. Thank you. Appreciate you supporting the channel. You sound like y'all laughing, but it's just real shit. Like, imagine that shit. In baseball, no infield home runs. No infield home runs. You better smack it out the park. If you smack it out the park, if you don't smack it out the park, man, we're going to make the stadium smaller so you can't do infield home runs. It's super dumb. That's definitely the equivalent. We're going to make the stadium smaller so you cannot do infield home runs. You better steal the base. You better not sit there and wait for somebody else to hit the ball. You better steal the base. Man, nigga, I don't need to steal the base if I don't want to, nigga. That's my choice. The fuck? Marissa Alvarez. Shout out to Marissa in the building. She says Greg Popovich has retired, and I heard Tim Duncan and Manu Ginobili have been taking him to physical therapy. Now, that's what's up. Shout out to them being loyal, man. You could tell their chemistry was on 1,000. Yeah, they making boxing rings smaller. Y'all might as well make the stadium smaller too. Shit crazy. Yeah, no backboard rule. You hit it off the. If you lay up off the backboard, no more Tom and Jerry basketball, nigga. No dunking the ball. He said 88 tripping. He said no dunking the ball Steph Curry style or you're getting fined. Yeah, facts. Sounds super dumb. Aaron says it's like stop Allen Iverson, no crossover rule. Facts. Like the Eagles with the tush push rule. You know, when the Eagles get to the 1 yard line and they just push the quarterback into the end zone, they try to, instead of finding ways to stop them from doing that, you know, they're over here trying to eliminate the fucking call, like the play. They're trying to get rid of it. Like, I guess that's just the era that we in, bro. It's like they want to get rid of things instead of trying to solve it. They try to get rid of problems. They try to, and motherfuckers don't want to figure shit out. How about getting stronger guys on your defensive line to stop the Eagles' offensive line from running through them? Era of taking shortcuts. Facts. Because the tush push that the Eagles do, you know what I mean? It wouldn't be as effective if motherfuckers was actually as strong as them and pushing them the fuck back. Hurts did Mahomes so dirty. The Eagles defense did Mahomes so dirty. That shit was an absolute shutout. I don't think they expected that at all. And I'll tell you what, if the Eagles defense keeps that shit up, man, they might go back to back. The Eagles been a top team in the NFL for a few years already, though. I mean, I think they won in 2017. They lost to the Chiefs. Won 2024. And now we got it back in 2025. No, Ali, you can't rope a dope. And, I seen people online saying that, in today's era, they would have called Ali a runner. Absolutely. Absolutely, they would have called Ali a runner. I don't give a fuck what nobody say. You feel me? They would have seen Ali using his feet, and they would have seen that he had black skin. Oh, he's a runner. You better not run away from Joe Frazier. You better sit there and trade left hooks with Joe. You scared of smoking Joe's left hook? He's the runner. Look at him. Look at this guy moving all around the ring using his jab. Look at this guy. Who does this guy think he is? He's a runner. That's who he think he is. Cross country. Mm-hmm. The NFL rule that is the craziest to me is hitting a defenseless player. What the fuck? So they don't cross in the middle of the field. You might see Jesus. Yo, on some real shit, bro, I completely forgot I had my Muhammad Ali shirt on. I went on that whole rant about Ali and Floyd. Completely forgot I had an Ali shirt on. I just threw this bitch on real quick. Because I was told I shouldn't be wearing tank tops on my lives anymore. So shout out to my old head Troy for the criticisms. Andre Ward is doing a sit-down interview with Stephen A. Smith. Bro, Marissa, and I'll watch it because it's Andre Ward. He's one of my favorite fighters of all time. But it's like Andre, bro. Like, you one of the greatest fighters of all time. Legend. This who you rather give an interview to? Like, there's so many now, and I'm not even talking about me. You feel what I'm saying? I'm not even talking about me. If you were to give me an interview, we gonna run that shit up. That's gonna be one of the best interviews around. With the questions I got for Andre Ward, that'll be a great, great interview. But there's so many knowledgeable boxing channels that you could go to, but you choose to go to Stephen A. Smith for an interview? Bro, Stephen A. Smith's bread and butter is basketball. There's not many people who could talk basketball like Stephen A. Smith. I'm going to give him that. I don't know about any other sports he talks well in, but basketball, he's a historian. But boxing, bro, Stephen A. Smith couldn't tell you about that motherfucker couldn't even tell you what a 3-2 is. Motherfucker couldn't tell you what. If I told Stephen A, show me a jab, pull jab, he couldn't tell you how to do that. He couldn't show me a slip jab. Let me see a slip jab, Stephen A. Couldn't tell you that. He couldn't tell you. I guarantee you, he couldn't tell you all the champions that's at 130 right now. Name the champions that's at 130 right now. I bet you he couldn't tell you. Yeah, like I just feel like ESPN just be throwing Stephen A in any genre and just expect them to know Eric, bro. That's not how it works, bro. Like me personally, I'm a boxing enthusiast. I know a lot about the ins and outs of boxing. That's why y'all tuning and watching me right now, right? Cool. I'm not about to sit here and be talking hockey with y'all niggas or soccer. I couldn't tell y'all a motherfucking thing about soccer. I ain't about to sit here and act like I know anything about soccer. I know a little bit about MMA, but when people ask me for MMA predictions, I refrain from them. You know why? Because I don't know enough I'm not knowledgeable enough about that particular field to give an opinion on it. They be throwing him in Stephen A. Smith. They'll be throwing him in all these different. I'll be wanting him to speak on. And I remember Charles Barkley had a little joke about it, talking about he was on ESPN, like the Spanish ESPN and all that shit. Like, shit crazy. ESPN be using Stephen A as a Swiss Army knife. Facts. That's you said that way better than I did, brother. I saw he did an interview with Roy Jones and Vinny Pazienza. That was a good one. I seen that one too. When Vinny Pazienza was talking about the Roger Mayweather fight, they say he almost died. I did not know that. Yeah, Max was low key better. Yeah, I don't even think it was low key. I think Max was just better than him overall. Andre Ward was a monster. He could do it all. He wasn't the biggest puncher, but he was technically sound, phenomenal jab, good combination puncher. He mixed up his combinations real well, was unpredictable in that way. Very good inside game. He can maul you. Sharp puncher too, sneaky with his combinations. Always in dog shape. Gritty. You can knock him down, he getting up. Like Andre Ward was, he was a fucking monster, bro. Like to beat Andre Ward, you gonna need to be a special fighter. Like you gonna have to be like prime Roy. Like you gonna have to be one of them. The Chad Dawson fight was my favorite Ward fight. That was one of mine too. Whenever I have a fighter ask me how to beat a southpaw, I'll send them that fight. I'm like, just study this. Pay attention to Andre Ward's feet. He exposed a lot. He exposed a lot about the southpaw in that fight right there. A lot of people always talk about step outside their foot, lead with the right hand. No, Andre Ward showed you a totally different way to defeat the southpaw. And if you know, you know. There's books on how to defeat southpaws, and what a lot of people don't tell you is if you set up the combination right, they can't see the left hook. That's what a lot of people tell you. And I've seen orthodox fighters step inside a southpaw's foot and still beat them the fuck up. So there's more than one way to skin a cat out this motherfucker, man. Don't, you know what I mean? Don't just follow the repetitive narratives, man. Do your own research. You know what I mean? He fried Chad Dawson, though. That motherfucker Ward hit him. I forgot what punch he hit him with. And I seen this nigga legs do the Tootsie Roll. I was like, oh, yeah, he ready to go. Triple G with a beat Ward. Shit. That slow shit, man. Man, listen. Triple G was him, but at 160, and I'm gonna keep it 1,000. When Triple G was coming up at 160, it wasn't really no notable names at the time. Like when you talking about his biggest names at 160 that he beat, you probably talking about Daniel Jacobs, he didn't really, besides Kid Chocolate that was undefeated at the time, he ain't really beat nobody notable. Then you talking about motherfucking David Lemieux. I mean, David Lemieux could punch, but he wasn't like no world beater neither. You know what I'm saying? Like he didn't really. He had title defenses and all that, and they was trying to say that, you know what I mean? He was gonna beat Bernard Hopkins' record and like all that bullshit. Nah, Triple G was him at 160. He was like they was building. Abel Sanchez and all them was trying to build him up to be this Mexican style type fighter and all this bullshit. But nah, he would have fought Andre Ward. Andre Ward would have completely. He would have got on the inside with Ward, and that would have been a bad jump. I mean, on the inside with Triple G, that would have been a bad jump. He would have exposed Triple G's inside game totally. And we seen Triple G. So they talking about Triple G ain't never been hurt before. Bullshit. I seen Sergey Derevyanchenko almost fold Triple G to the body. Shit. I think he would have realized how strong Andre Ward was and how he ain't no pillow puncher. That would have been a bad fight for Triple G. And you see Triple G, he not comfortable going backwards neither. We seen that second Canelo fight. Canelo was pushing him back, and Triple G wasn't as effective. Andre Ward would have been a stylistic nightmare for Triple G, in my opinion. Yeah, Andre Ward was a dog, cuz. He was a dog. But that was another fighter who got criticized. You know what I mean? James Toney or Ward, that would have been a hell of a fight. I don't even know. I don't know. I don't really trust James Tony. He a drug cheat. You feel me? Eastern Europeans are infamous for having no inside game. That's a fact. Minus consumer. That's a fact. They good at boxing at range and shooting they straight shots and shit like that. But them Europeans used to bring black trainers over to their country to learn the black style, the style that everybody's trying to get rid of and make smaller rings for. You know what I'm saying? That's the had to learn. Yeah, they don't like body shots neither. Yeah, Loma ain't like no body shots. Usyk look like he don't like it to the body. Uh, Motherfucking Triple G, the motherfuckers don't like it to the body. We seen Dennis Berincek get folded to the body. You feel me? I don't know. Them niggas core workouts gotta be trash or something. Let's be clear though, a lot of people don't have an inside game. A lot of people, what I mean, they was only taught to fight at like mid range. You know what I mean? You might have somebody who specializes at fighting at long range, but once a motherfucker get on the inside, change the whole dynamic. I seen that shit. I had a fight one time, well, a sparring session. He was a tall, rangy boxer. He could box. He could box like a motherfucker. And like for the first round, he outboxed me, just peppering me with the jab, trying to find my way in. I'm cutting the ring off. He had some fast feet too. And then the coach that I was, cool with at the time, he was like, he said, you gotta make this an inside fight. So I came in behind some feints, shot my jab behind my feints. I was able to freeze him with the feints, come in between I came in behind a strong jab, so he couldn't. I came in with more than one jab, so he wouldn't be able to counter as effectively. And I started digging to his body. Boy, when I tell you that whole shit changed up. A lot of motherfuckers can't fight on the inside, bro. I'm over here slipping from side to side. I'm putting a forearm here to get a little bit of space. Boom. Then I'm dropping this way. Boom. 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 Shoot. Boom. Boom. Soon as he walked that way, I'm catch. Boom. 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 Coming around the elbows with the hooks, all that. Shooting inside his elbows. Short uppercut in here. I drop this way. Boom. What y'all know about punching? How y'all know about setting up punches? Throwing punches and taking your head off the line. Boom, boom. Good night, Marissa. Appreciate you coming by and showing love. I'm hitting him on his ribs, hard exhales, grunting and all that shit. Oh man. And then he spent. Now he's sitting on the ropes, his legs not there. Then I can do what I want to do. Boom, 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 boom. And once that hook, I felt my knuckles pierce I felt my knuckles pierce his motherfucking side of his head. I was like, oh yeah. Once I feel my knuckle dig into the motherfucking skull, oh yeah, it's up. That should take I could be gassed. And once I feel that, my stamina just shoot through a whole nother level. Now I gotta get you. Aaron says, James Tony, nasty, nasty, nasty D. That's a pause. God damn. Shoulder roll, trash talk. This nigga said nasty, nasty, nasty D. Word. So I know I'm fucking with you, Aaron. Chill, coffee. Devin was placing some nasty body shots on Loma. I loved it. He was every time Loma, overcommitted to a punch or he got a little bit too close, Devin was timing him with them uppercuts to the body. Beautiful. Beautiful timing. Beautiful accuracy. That shit kept Loma honest for a good amount of the fight, too. Keep it real. Just fucking with you, Aaron. But any last things I want to talk about before I get up out of here, man? You know what I mean? It's 12:10. Got to get up early for work tomorrow. I might do an early live on Friday, though. I ain't going to lie to you. Cause I'm going to be off Friday, Saturday. But Saturday, I got to go to an amateur show. But I should be back before the fights start. You know what I mean? Bam stopping Estrada to the body was nasty. Yeah, especially how he was able to create that angle. The angle he got to, the angle he created and then shot the body shot off the angle. That was nasty, bro. Like Loma had good angles and shit like that though, but I don't know, man. Bam angles just be so crispy, like shit that I've never even seen before. Like in a live fight. Like, I've seen niggas do that like with pads and shit like that, but as effortlessly as Bam does it, like that one knockdown he got against Estrada, I've never seen a knockdown like that before. Zab Judah did have some solid inside fighting. That's a good observation. Evander Holyfield, nasty inside hooks and uppercuts, yeah. Especially when he was at heavyweight and he was, mauling these motherfuckers. I seen them nasty little inside hooks and uppercuts against George Foreman. Yeah, Bam said he did learn from Loma. That's a fact. And I'm not saying like Bam was, is so much better than Loma. Like, I'm just saying, like, I just felt like what? Definitely nice. But all right, y'all. I'm going to get up out of here, man. I appreciate everybody that came through and showed love to the channel. If y'all could go ahead and hit the like button on the way out, that'll be very much appreciated. You see what I'm saying? We on the road to 4K. You feel what I mean? We about to hit that mid 3,100 mark in due time. Shout out to the nation and the mob for making this possible. I will be back at y'all with another video tomorrow to currently discuss what's going on in the boxing world, man. Until then, this is Mazuma TV. Thank you very much for tuning in. I'm up out of here, man. Peace.